My name is Dan Hall. My company is HSL Building Services. It's mainly a domestic renovation and extension building firm. We started around about 12 years ago. I went self-employed. I was in corporate life before. I was in corporate sales, area sales manager, had the suit and tie and laptop and company car, and one day woke up thinking I want to do something more me, and found something that I'm very passionate about, and I'm glad I made the change. The business was relatively small. I started on my own, just working on odd jobs, and was asked to do bigger work, and had to ask people to help, get specialised people in to help with certain areas of the business, and I perceived that there were no issues with my business whatsoever, and that I could quite happily cope with everything that was being thrown at me all on my own. I met Nell through networking, and she invited me along to one of her growth clubs, which is a thing that's run once a quarter so you can plan and set goals. And I thought, oh, what the hell? What have I got to lose? I can't be taught anything that I don't already know. But what the hell? And on that first one I went, oh yes, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember that too. So I went to another one about 3 months later, and I'd gone to 4 or 5 growth clubs, so this is over a year, and saw Nell regularly through various networking groups, talking about what, where, when and how, and setting goals became much more of a habit, to one day realising that actually I don't know what I'm doing in so many different areas. I have to be the marketing director, the finance director, the managing director, the operations director, the personnel director, and quite frankly no one's actually taught me to run a business before, and with Nell's help and support I've managed to grow significantly, not only in turnover terms but in staff number terms as well. So it has changed my perception of what I should be doing at running a business, as well as enabling to do that better. It's all about accountability, in my opinion. I, as a business owner, am accountable to no one but myself. And it's very easy to say, that's okay because I'll do that later. I effectively pay someone to be my accountable person. So Nell, to me, makes sure that I do X, Y and Z, rather than me saying, I'm going to do this, and then it goes onto a to-do list, and then it goes onto another to-do list, and goes on to another to-do list. She actually makes sure that I do actually do what I say I want to do. She doesn't tell me what to do. I'm telling her I'm going to do it. She makes me accountable for it, so that it's very easy to get distracted and get caught in the stuff that we think's important but actually isn't. And she helps with that as well. We now meet every week, once a week, from once a quarter to once a week, and the difference has been like chalk and cheese. Difficult question to answer quickly. A business coach is a very personal choice, and Nell's personality and her attitude fit mine. Nell is more than a business coach. She has become a very good friend, part of my everyday life, assists on a personal level, on a private level, as well as on a business level. And over the last 3 years, really, I would say I trust her with anything that's happening. So it's being safe, and safe in the knowledge that it's not going to go any further than the conversation between she and I. The Growth Club is about setting goals for the quarter, and I still do them. So for a full day I work on my business and say, right, this is what I've achieved, so for the next quarter I want to achieve this, and then work out the journey to that goal within that session. So I want to take on 5 more staff and increase my turnover by £50,000. How do I do that? What sort of customers am I going to need? What sort of staff am I going to need? And how am I going to get those customers and market those customers and recruit those staff? So it's all very prescribed and very detailed goal setting. On a weekly basis, we see where we are against the goals. We also look at my sales pipeline. Who's coming through? Where are the leads coming from? Who's come through that week? What am I doing with them? Have I... we've formalised my sales process, we've formalised my recruitment process, we've formalised my customer contact process, we've formalised so many systems that I was doing naturally, or at least thought I did them naturally before. And on literally a weekly basis, we go through all the actions that I should have done, and if I haven't done them, they go to next week's, and sometimes there are threats of forfeits and if I don't do what I'm told. So she makes me accountable for the actions that I've already said I would do. And I've outsourced an awful lot of work to other people so that I don't have to do it. It frees up my time to concentrate on the operational and the marketing side. Any issues that may have happened with anything, with personnel, with logistics or whatever, I have someone to talk to about what's the best way to solve a particular issue or replicate a particular positive outcome. So this happened, great, how do we do that again? Maybe make it a bit more efficient so that we can grow the business and become more efficient and achieve what I'm setting out to achieve. Yeah, that's actually quite easy to do. There is a formal sales process written down and followed, and it has been adjusted and written down again as we've tried and tested and measured the response to the process. Marketing is formalised and tested and measured, and that is something that Nell has insisted upon. I have a new process called a customer change of specification form. When customers ask me, while you're here, could you, and 90% of the time have refused to pay, then I have to sign for the while you're here, could you? Yes, of course. Please sign this. And you know immediately whether you've got a customer that's prepared to pay when they sign that form or go, well, I'm not sure. Having the strength of mind to deselect customers has been a big issue for me, and I do deselect them. No, I do not think you are going to pay your bill. I am not even going to bother with putting in an estimate that is competitive. There is a full appraisal system in place for my staff, which for a building firm is very unique. I have a mission statement written down and followed and promulgated to the team on a weekly basis. I do team talks and toolbox talks on a weekly basis to my team, all formalised and in a process that exists. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. This week I have okayed a print run for some client contact cards so that we can actually write on an HSL Building Services copy notebook some information to a neighbour, say they're not in and we're going to affect them tomorrow with, say, a concrete delivery, or we're going to be making a lot of dust cutting bricks, and we can write it down and let them know and put it around the neighbours to make sure all the neighbours are informed correctly and professionally. So it's an ongoing process of little improvements here, little improvements there. When I met Nell, I was turning over between £80,000 and £100,000. I'm currently turning over £700,000 a year. Nell is very, very, very straight talking, and it can unsettle people. She tells me when I've done something wrong with no fluff. She tells me when I've done something right with no fluff, just as quickly. I'm paying her to make me accountable. I don't want wishy-washy Oh yes, I understand why you haven't been able to do that, because that's just allowing life to get in the way of what I want to achieve. She's extremely caring at the same time. She's not a dictator with a big stick. So she's very straight talking, but there's always a section at the end of our one-to-one sessions where we talk about what's going on in each other's heads and each other's lives on a personal level, which does affect how you're working and how you're running your business as well, and enables us to account for that part of who I am, to bring it or take it away from the business. She's very funny. She's quite quirky and an eccentric for a non-British national, in a very eccentric British way, which I like, which I love. She loves her dog. She loves her dog, and we know all about that. But essentially, yeah, she's very, very. A spade is a spade. It's not a gardening implement that is made of metal and can be used as an extra leverage on a specific fulcrum. It's a spade, and that's what I need. I thought I knew how to run a business, but I've actually never been taught. And if you're serious about your business, you need to outsource things. We cannot wear all the same hats. To use Nell, you will get the support and guidance that you need to make your business flourish, if that's what you want. If you want a hobby, that's something different. If you want a business that's going to grow and grow profitably and in a structured way that will allow you much more freedom, then you need a coach. If you want a coach that's actually going to facilitate that quickly, then you need Nell.